Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu to brothers and sisters present here today. I know that teachers have a tendency to talk and talk, so I think it helps to sometimes have a timer. So with the chairman's permission, I'll set the timer for, I think, 9 minutes remaining. Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Jazakallah. So my aim today is to just give you some insights into some effective study habits and ways that students can prepare for examinations. I'm conscious that we have a very diverse age range here present, so there might be some children I've seen today who are maybe at primary age, some will be in Key Stage 3, others possibly preparing for the GCSE examinations soon, and also A-levels as well. So trying to make it as generic and general as possible. I think it's useful to firstly start to consider the question, why is it important to study? A teacher can talk to you until they're blue in their face about why revision or the ways in which students can revise, but unless you know the actual purpose behind it, it's pretty pointless. Those who might go to the gym will have a particular purpose in mind. You're not going to hit the treadmill or do a deadlift or reverse lunges just for the sake of it. You have a particular target in mind. When you come to pray, for instance, we have niyat or intention. You have a particular goal in mind when you are praying to your Maker. So when you're revising, again, there needs to be this bigger picture in mind. Why are you studying? What is the ultimate objective? Is it to impress your friends? Is it to please your teacher? Is it to get that university place you've always been dreaming of? Is it to get that dream job you've always wanted to land? Is it to get that big house you've always dreamt of? Whatever your aims and objectives are, there needs to be a purpose behind it. And unless you keep a particular objective or purpose in mind, then really study becomes pointless. I think we have to be realistic when we advise children, or if we're a student and we're thinking about how best to prepare for examinations or how to develop effective study habits. We all lead very busy lives. We all have multiple commitments, whether that's to our friends, whether that's on social media, whether that's doing Jamaat work and going to the mosque. We have a number of different commitments. And I think we have to be realistic about making sure that we allow time for all of these things. And I think sometimes what is useful to advise young people is that when they are preparing for an examination, for instance, if they are trying to come up with a routine that is useful and meaningful for them, is to do the things they enjoy first, get those out of the way, and then make sure they're allocating commitment to their studies and to exam preparation. So it's always useful not to avoid doing the things that you enjoy. In terms of other suggestions, again, of a very general nature, I think obviously we being Ahmedi Muslims and having a firm belief in our Creator that God works for us. And so I think prayer is always the number one advice that I would give to anyone who wants to succeed in their studies. I think it's important to make sure that when you're in school or at college or university, is to make sure that you are maximizing the time, that you are actually focusing on your homework or making sure that you're researching or completing some work, making sure you're doing that whilst you're in that educational context. Being punctual to lessons, it's interesting, there's been a lot of research into this about how literally losing 2 or 3 minutes of the start of a lesson or a lecture really builds up and can equate into hours of missed learning. So making sure that you are there before the lesson starts is very crucial. Asking questions to your teacher. They are the expert. You are relying upon them to guide you and to ensure that you are prepared for your learning, you're prepared for your examinations, so making sure that you're making maximum use of the professionals. These slides are available to anyone afterwards, so we will make these available, so forgive me if I can't go through all of these suggestions. But other small things that you might consider minor like, for example, sitting at a tidy desk. Some students just need that headspace without any distractions. That could be a phone. It could be just making sure that you're sitting with the right posture. The way you dress. I mean, I've chosen to come dressed in a suit today because I'm in business mode, and that helps me to, I suppose, think better about what I'm about to present. So again, if you're a student and you're in school uniform, maybe it's best to just get the work done whilst you're in school uniform because you're in that sort of mindset of still being at school. And by all means, relax afterwards. In terms of general revision, I'm just skipping through a few things. I'm conscious that I've only got about a couple of minutes left, I think. Is knowing where to start. So if you have, and we are sort of coming up to the examination season now with GCSE and A-level students, is being aware of the exam schedule and making sure you come up with a particular timetable that is effective. I'm seeing a few smiles at this picture, I imagine. This was a lovely gift I received from some students who I taught A-level a few years ago in Birmingham, who, because I absolutely drilled it to them, they would need to make sure they know the specification or the syllabus for the A-level. I really drilled it into them that it became a quote, let's have a look at the spec. And they gave me this lovely present as a gift, a glasses case with my name on it. That was a kind of nice gesture. But I think it just reiterates the importance of making sure that you know the syllabus, especially those that are studying GCSE and A-level examinations, know very well that you will only ever be asked questions on what is actually in the syllabus and the specification. So knowing the syllabus and specification inside out is very important. Having checklists, for example. Sometimes teachers produce these for students, or a student can develop these by themselves, is making sure that you create a list of the key content that you need to know and understand before an examination comes up, and then RAG rate it. In other words, it's red, amber, or green in terms of your level of confidence. Here's an example of one of my students who did A-level RS last year, and she had indicated with colors, color-coded, how confident she was on each part of the 3 areas of the RS A-level, and was very honest with herself. And that's very important as a first step, is be brutally honest with yourself about what you're confident in and what you're not confident in. And that's where you can then highlight and hone in where the key areas are for you to focus on. No point in revising and spending time on content that you know very well, inside out. Questions you can answer in your sleep. What's the point? It's wasted time. So invest the very little time that you have on those areas that you are less confident about. Again, just some general sort of tips and advice about proven methods of revision and exam preparation. Again, these don't work for everyone. One size doesn't fit all. But I think unless you have tried a particular technique or strategy, you can't really knock it. So whether it's sort of developing flashcards or using Post-its, having them put up on your bedroom wall or in the kitchen, getting parents involved, getting them to quiz you on particular aspects of the learning, drawing mind maps or diagrams, also predicting questions that will come up in the examination, or developing your own knowledge quizzes, focusing on key content that you need to know for your exams. So those are just some general tips that I wanted to share. There will be an opportunity for questions to be asked a bit later on, but also if we can give a plug in advance to, inshallah, the return of the Talim lectures in the next few months. We'll be focusing on aspects of education, more about the British education system, for instance, effective study habits, and more to come as well. Jazakallah.
Jazakallah.